Today, we're going to book WrestleMania 41 way too far in advance. It is after SummerSlam, I did it after WrestleMania, and I will do it one more time after Royal Rumble, and then we will come back together and see how many predictions I got right, and boy, how many predictions I got wrong after WrestleMania 41. Now, if you're going to say, hey, haven't I seen this idea somewhere else before? Yeah, no, I am copying this idea off of Mr. Sante's app, so don't call me a copier, because all I'll say is, yeah, it's a great idea, and YouTubers, we like great ideas, so we kind of just all borrow from each other. So anyways, let's get into it. Our first one is a no-brainer. It is The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. Now, there is high potential that it'll be Roman versus Cody Rhodes or even Rock versus Roman, but I think Rock versus Roman is being saved to next year's SummerSlam or WrestleMania 42, but I believe this year it is The Rock versus Cody. They've already teased it. The Raw after WrestleMania, I think The Rock saw the money potential in him facing a white meat babyface at WrestleMania 40 when they made the pivot, and now I really think that that is our night 2 main event. I think The Rock might win, but regardless, that is our first match. But what about the rest of the card? Typically, a big 5 pay-per-view will have 7 matches, but I'm giving 8 matches per night. But first, would you like to win this Smoking Skull Steve Austin Attitude Era belt? Of course you would. I'm giving it away once I hit 10,000 subscribers. All you gotta do is comment on videos and be a subscriber. Why am I doing this? I want to be a full-time YouTuber. I want to make videos every day. I literally have so many ideas in my head that it hurts, but I have to work 50, 60 hours a week, and I just can't do it. When I go 2 days without producing a video, it really weighs on me. I really want to get this stuff out. So if I can become full-time, I can make more videos, I can give away more belts. I will always give away a belt on this channel. I promise you that. But the next match on the card, let's go John Cena. John Cena's retirement tour is happening, and this is his last WrestleMania. He will fight all the way to December, but this is his last WrestleMania, and he's already got a challenge on the table. Braun Breaker has said to him, hey man, you have never won the Intercontinental title. Come and get it. That would be a great match right there. And normally I'd say let's pass the torch, but here I would say give him the win, give him the W. That would get the belt off of Braun, and he can go into the main event scene, but it also gives John Cena a feel-good win at WrestleMania, and it allows him to complete the Grand Slam tour of championship belts, because I believe that is the only one that he has not acquired. Well, that and the Speed title, but I think if we had to weigh them, he should probably win the Intercontinental belt at WrestleMania. So now let's get into the Bloodline stuff going on. The Bloodline soap opera is going to be heavy throughout WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Now, I originally would have put Roman versus Solo Sikoa, but honestly, I think the money match is Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa has done a great job with everything, but Jacob Fatu is just so much more natural. He has definitely overshadowed him. By the time we get to WrestleMania 41, Jacob Fatu will be the person that has replaced Solo Sikoa. Now, maybe not as the tribal chief, but I think The Rock will have kicked out Solo by then, and Jacob Fatu will be the leader that shows up on a full-time basis while The Rock is pulling the strings off camera. So Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns, we've already seen it kind of play out at SummerSlam and SmackDown. They kept Jacob Fatu away from Roman Reigns with an injury. Then we also had Jacob Fatu just completely destroy Roman, so now we're just like, whoa, what's going to happen if these two ever fight? Because everybody knows that Roman can beat Solo, but when it comes to Jacob Fatu, we're all like, can he beat Jacob Fatu? So I think that is the WrestleMania match right there. But Solo is not completely out of the picture, though, because Solo Sikoa will be a man without a family by the time he gets to WrestleMania. He will have betrayed Roman, but I think his bloodline will have betrayed him when he doesn't get the job done. So Solo Sikoa is an island unto himself, and guess who goes after him? The Wyatt Six. I think the Wyatt Six will actually go after Solo Sikoa for just betraying Roman and stuff, and where he's at and having no family right now. So we'll have Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa. Uncle Howdy will win, and this will begin the redemption of Solo back to the original bloodline, with Roman Reigns eventually forgiving him. Because, hey, you know what? Roman did a lot of bad things, and if Roman can be forgiven, so can Solo. The Usos, by now, will have reconciled, probably during War Games, and they will have tagged off and on. Who knows? Jey Uso is a popular single star, but let's be honest, Triple H doesn't really use him as a single star, and we could definitely have the Usos going into WrestleMania with the tag titles, or trying to get the tag titles from some iteration of the bloodline. Most likely, Tanga Loa, they're not going to use him. He has negative aura. I've already done a video. It actually got taken down because of copyright strikes, and I'm trying to fight it, trying to get it back on, but Tanga Loa just botches after botches after botches, but Tama Tonga, he's okay, right? And by then, we'll probably have someone like Hikuleo or Zilla Fatu. We have options from the Samoan Dynasty fighting the Usos for the tag titles. Whether or not they're defending or vying for it, doesn't matter, but the Usos will be in that tag team conversation for the titles. The other tag match, I'm going to do a cop-out here. I'm not going to really say who's going to be who. I'm just going to say there will be another tag team match that will just be a ladder match. It's just going to be the straight up car wreck ladder match where whoever doesn't have a storyline for WrestleMania, get in this ladder match and try to fight for the tag team titles. They've done it, so I feel like, yes, it's a cop-out, but it's also very believable that they would. So there's another match for you. Now we have Gunther. By the time we get to WrestleMania 41, I believe Gunther will have lost his title. Probably at Rumble. Maybe one of the first Netflix shows to show that big things can happen on Netflix Raw. But regardless, Gunther has lost the title. I'll talk about who he lost the title to later because it plays into the main event of night one. And he's going to fight Oba Femi. Who's Oba Femi? He's a guy on NXT, right? He's the North American champion right now, but I just think that he's just ready to be on the main roster. During the Netflix jump, we're going to have Oba Femi come to Netflix so we can freshen it up with some new talent, and yeah, at some point, those two, they're going to clash. Oba Femi would be a great villain, but he's also a great good guy. He just has personality to spare, and I think those two going at it, while no title will be on the line, no title needs to be needed. Gunther has said it many times, I'm in it for the love of the sport, and this is my sport, and he's willing to fight just to fight. And Oba Femi, you know, this will be just a good chance to move up. He could say something along the lines of, when you were in NXT, you dodged me, and so now I'm coming for you, and let's just have those two go at it. I think that would be an amazing, amazing fight right there. And another fight that doesn't have anything on the line is going to be Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. They're just going to fight each other, and it's going to be kind of like LA Knight versus AJ Styles last year. No real blood reason, and once this is done, they can move on. But honestly, they've been friends for a minute now. Royal Rumble last year, and that's a long time for these two. These two are known backstabbers. So one is just going to backstab the other before the other can backstab him, and they'll have their match, and they'll go their separate ways afterwards. There will be 3 women's matches on the WrestleMania weekend. We're going to have Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair. Maybe a passing of the torch, because they seem to be almost, when you look at them, they're identical. And I'm not a huge fan of Charlotte Flair. I really, really, though, hope she goes in as a bad guy here. And even though Tiffany is a bad guy currently, she definitely, you know, she has the crowd. Everybody in the crowd saying, Tiffy time, Tiffy time. I feel she can transition to a face, a really snarky face, but a face nonetheless. And those two can go at it, with Tiffany going in as the championship at the time, because she probably cashed in the Money in the Bank on Nia Jax. The next match would be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I feel that they need to kind of stay away from each other for a little bit. Maybe Liv Morgan can beat her one more time with some stipulation like, if I win, you can't challenge me for the title anymore. But then Rhea Ripley goes and she wins the Royal Rumble, but Liv Morgan's like, no, it says right here, you cannot challenge me. Then Rhea Ripley goes and wins the Elimination Chamber. So finally, Adam Pearce is like, you know what? She won 2 things that guarantee her a WrestleMania match. I'm calling it. She can pick, and then she picks Liv Morgan, and she goes and wins. The next one is going to be Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. At some point, they finally break up. throughout the year. Maybe Royal Rumble, maybe one eliminates the other, and that sets them off. I actually kind of low-key want Bianca Belair to go bad, because she is such a good bad guy if you look at her NXT days. But I think it'd be better for Jade, actually, to go evil, because it's a lot easier to be an evil bad guy than it is to be a good guy. So I think it would just allow Jade Cargill to really get her feet wet on the mic and stuff, and it's just a lot easier to get the crowd to hate you. So Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, book that. That's the dream match right there. Here's kind of a throwaway match. It's going to be Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn. I didn't really know where to put Sami on the card. Sami is going to be on WrestleMania. Triple H loves Sami Zayn, and hey, I love Sami Zayn too. I think Bronson Reed will probably have a similar storyline of what's going on right now. He'll be like, why am I not on WrestleMania? I should be on WrestleMania. And then he starts beating up a bunch of people, and then he gets to Sami Zayn, beats him up, but Sami Zayn isn't like the other people he beat up and was like, no, he keeps coming back to finally Sami Zayn goes and says, give me a match with Bronson Reed, and they have a match at WrestleMania. It's just a good little 5-minute match for WrestleMania, showcase people, give people a paycheck. LA Knight, yeah, he is going to be fighting Chad Gable. I think he'll heat up around Royal Rumble, maybe go on a tear, and somehow, some way, he just says, you know what, we're American made, let's go after the US title. And so that is pretty much the reason he's going to start the feud with LA Knight, but that's good enough because LA Knight can definitely carry it after that, and Chad Gable is a good dancing partner. Now we're going to have 2 celebrities at this WrestleMania, one for each night. We're bringing Bad Bunny back with his former partner Damian Priest, because when Bad Bunny first was introduced, he actually wrestled in a tag match with Damian Priest. Then they went to Puerto Rico and fought, but I think they can make up now because Damian Priest is an uber good guy, great, awesome. We have those two fighting Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. That will be the end of the Judgment Day feud right there, but that would be a great little match. And then maybe we could even have Dominic versus Bad Bunny at the next pay-per-view, but I say we have those two fight, and the other celebrity match, well, it's hard to say that Logan Paul is a celebrity now, because to me, he's a wrestler, but regardless, a lot of people still see him as a celebrity. So Logan Paul is going to fight,
say his name and he appears,
Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
And people are like, that's a head scratcher. Well, is it? Joe Hendry is a huge viral sensation. If he can just keep that momentum going to WrestleMania, keep his viralness going, then why not? WWE is huge on the guy. He could have some songs about Logan Paul. Him and Logan Paul, they could have their feud almost entirely on the internet, and it would be amazingly awesome, and we could have a lot of eyes on the product because of that. Now that I think about it, AJ Styles, I don't have a place for him on the card. I don't have a place for Rey Mysterio either, so maybe they fight each other, and, you know, sorry guys, I've seen it done though. I've seen WrestleMania matches with zero reason for these guys to fight other than maybe one confrontation, and it can be as simple as running into each other in a hallway and spilling coffee on someone and then just getting mad about it. And that's going to be a quick match even. It's going to be a surprise quick match. It's more of to shock us than anything. That anything could happen at WrestleMania. Literally, they go at it and the match lasts a minute and AJ Styles just like, he's super mad. He's like, wait, what just happened? And it'd kind of be payback because Rey Mysterio one time lost to Samoa Joe in under a minute. Well, now AJ Styles loses to Rey Mysterio in under a minute, and it's just like, oh, what? I can't believe it. Because if you don't have any reason for them to fight, then give people a reason to remember that they barely fought. Your final match is going to be the main event of the first night of WrestleMania, and that is going to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. These guys have been pretty much feuding off and on since last Royal Rumble as well. CM Punk wasn't able to main event last year because he tore some muscle in his arm, his pec, or his tricep. Him and Drew have been having a huge, awesome blood feud going on, and Seth Rollins, he jumped in for SummerSlam and now he's back out because he got injured by Bronson Reed. But he hates CM Punk. They hate each other. Seth Rollins being inserted into this would be a great way to get this feud super hot again, and it would allow CM Punk to get his WrestleMania main event. His boyhood dream is his WrestleMania main event, the last match on the card, and we can have them fighting for the championship. At some point, they're going to beat Gunther. At some point, they've beaten Gunther, and they will now have a triple threat with, man, that would be such a great sparring of words between each other, and it would allow Drew McIntyre and CM Punk to heat up, because Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, they seem to have said everything they can say to each other, but insert Seth Rollins, and now everything is fresh again. And I think that would be a great night 1 PLE. That's the one when everybody goes away happy, but night 2, not so much when The Rock wins. And those are your WrestleMania 41 predictions. Like I said, we will revisit this later after WrestleMania to see how many I got right, how many I got wrong. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. What are some of your matches you want to see or you think you will see at WrestleMania 41? Please comment below so you can win the belt. And guys, girls, have yourselves a great day.